Hello and welcome to Heroes of Handheld, episode 251. This is the world's premium podcast dedicated to handheld gaming. In the past, we've taken a walk into the world of PlayStation Vita, PSP, 3DS, 2DS, 2DS XL, 3DS XL, and everything in between. But now we like Nintendo Switch. That's our main port of call. Who doesn't like Nintendo Switch? One of the best consoles out there at the moment. Everyone's got one. It's the cool thing to have. If you haven't got one, where have you been? I'm Colin. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined by Chris over there in the big L. The big L.
Hello.
Chris, hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
I'm fine. I'm still sitting in the dark. I haven't really sorted out the lighting problem here. The thing is, I bought a lamp from, where was it? I think it was like not Home Bargains. No, what is it? It's
Wilco's?
No, not TK Maxx. The one like TK Maxx, the Home Sense. I think it was.
Yeah, I've never heard of Home Sense.
Home Sense.
No, we don't have that up in London.
Do you know TK Maxx?
I do know TK Maxx. I shop there very frequently.
Good. It's owned by TK Maxx, but it's like really weird furniture. It's like a jumble sale of really weird, mismatched, crazy furniture and lamps and ornaments and things like that. And it was a really funky lamp. I've only used it once, and it's already fallen apart. And it cost me £15. So
that's annoying.
Good fine. But very excited because we've only got a few weeks until Endgame, Avengers. Yeah,
2 weeks and a bit.
Yeah, I'm seeing it on the Saturday, but I think you're seeing it a bit earlier than me, aren't you?
I'm seeing it on the Thursday, and I'm going to text you everything that happens.
Thanks. Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less, you dick donkey. So you're not doing the midnight showing, are you? You're just doing a normal.
No, I'm seeing it on the Thursday evening.
Oh God, it's going to be like when Game of Thrones, the first episode airs next Sunday. Like I'm going to have to avoid the internet for like a whole day or 48 hours between when Endgame comes out and I see it, because I know there'll be things that will spoil it for me.
Yeah, I think Thrones is a bit different because I feel like people are respectful up until it's been out in the UK. Then it's like spoilers forever.
Yeah.
But movies, I don't know if it's anything like the last one. People will be quite tight on spoilers and just go on Twitter and you can mute all the words. That's what I've done. So people, whenever a new Avengers trailer comes out, I don't really know until someone texts me about it, because on Twitter I've muted like Avengers, Endgame, Marvel, MCU.
Didn't know you do that.
Yeah, it's really handy. I use it to block all sorts of things. If there's stuff I don't want to see about anymore, you can just tweet, get rid of the word.
Oh, like you can tweet block Colin, so any of my tweets can be blocked, or I could do the same, like block Chris.
That's why I don't reply to your stupid messages.
There you go. It all makes sense. But yes, I think Game of Thrones is the big one. I think the problem is, like with Game of Thrones, I'll quickly touch on this, is it's not really the people spoiling it. It's when like the groups or the companies or the news sources that I follow on Facebook or wherever, when they do their articles on it, and they'll say something like, I don't know, the shocking death in the episode of Game of Thrones, and they'll put a picture of the person who died as like the thumbnail. That's
I hate that so much.
When they do that. And also, what was it? It was there was some sort of when I was playing Arkham Knight, there was a twist in that. Well, there was a twist that everyone saw coming, which I didn't really see coming, and it was spoiled for me because, like, I think it was GameSpot or IGN put a video up saying the big twist from Arkham Knight, and then it actually said what the twist was, and then the video started playing straight away. Like they're doing a countdown of the 10 biggest shocks in video games, and it's just like, okay, thanks for that. I'm literally playing that game right now, and it's been ruined.
The worst one for me, and this, I think I've talked about this before on the show, and it's semi my own fault, but also I would argue not really, is whenever you like search for, say you're watching a new TV show, say you're watching, I don't know, Grey's Anatomy, for example, and you're like, oh, this nurse is interesting. I wonder what actor plays the nurse. So you search for the nurse, you search, I don't know, Grey's Anatomy, Colin Smith.
Yeah.
And then the thing will come up and it's like Grey's Wikia or something. So, oh yeah, that'll do. Click on that. And then you're like, well, if you want to know who the actor is, you have to scroll down the bio bit, and then you scroll down the bio bit, and instead of listing the actor at the top, which I would argue is probably the most pertinent search for thing. It lists the episode that the character first came in and the episode they died in, or their current status. And it's like, I don't want to know that.
Yeah.
I just want to know who plays Colin Smith. I don't want to know that they died in a helicopter crash 3 years ago.
That's the worst for that is probably The Walking Dead, because everyone dies in Walking Dead. Yeah,
absolutely. So frustrating. Anyway, Colin, let's talk Switch. What have you been playing this week, if anything?
I've not been playing anything. I've been really, really bad. I think the last time I came well, I've been playing Pokemon Go, as I always do. I'm trundling nicely through at level 34 now. And you gave me a Kangaskhan on Saturday when I saw you, and that's pretty much, I've completed the first lot of Pokemon apart from Mewtwo now. So I'm very, very excited about that. So that was good.
Nice.
Apart from that, I mean, the closest I've come to playing a game this week was downloading Blades for mobile, but I didn't actually open it because you messaged me last Wednesday to say that you couldn't get in because the servers couldn't cope with the amount of people playing it.
Yeah, I wanted to play it after we spoke about it on a pod last week. So I went and I tapped it and I loaded it. And basically it was like, sorry, we're only opening the things at limited time, so you can't play it right now. And it's like, oh,
helpful.
I mean, I get why they're doing it because it's still I think it's still the beta or whatever. But it was not. I was not very impressed with that. But I have been playing, Colin.
Yeah.
A little game called Overwhelm. Now, this came out last week. We got sent a code, which was very kind. And if you've not heard of this game, Colin, I'm going to need you to look up how much it is because the website won't tell me because I've bought it.
Right.
Overwhelm is a 2D horror shooty runny gunny platformer. But there's a couple of twists to the formula. Number one is that it's incredibly hard. You take a hit and your character dies and you've got 3 lives, and then you lose all your progress from the last checkpoint. And it's only a few checkpoints. I've not finished the game yet. Interesting thing number 2 is that the bosses give enemies power-ups. So there are 5, as I said, I've not finished the game yet because I'm still only giving impressions, but I've beaten 2 of the bosses so far. And each time you beat a boss, it gives the rest of the enemies in the dungeon like a unique power-up. So you beat the first boss, and it means everything can fly. You beat the second boss, and it means everything can climb. Then there's 3 more, which I've not done yet. So rather than the normal formula is you get stronger as the world gets stronger, but in this game, you stay the same, but the world gets stronger around you. It's very, I'd say, very sparse. It's quite minimalist. And the idea is to do a run where you beat all 5 bosses without losing 3 lives in a row. The interesting thing is that exclusive to the Switch version is a co-op mode, which I played with a friend who was over on the weekend. And I would say that the co-op mode makes a heck of a difference because you can revive each other. And that is like a big old game changer in this
yes, it's really weird. Game. It's really weird. Like, I'm watching the video on nintendo.co.uk, the little preview video of the game, and as you're describing it, it's happening on screen. So when you said about co-op, the co-op mode just showed, and when you said about reviving, it showed someone being revived. So that was interesting.
Yeah, so co-op makes a real slam of a difference because without it, you are you're really more exposed, and with it, you can pincer the enemies and stuff like that, and it's I think the game feels a lot. The thing I would say is it's very, very difficult, and in co-op the game feels a lot more achievable, and you feel like you're having more of an impact on the world. The trade-off is if you do co-op, you can only play it with a Joy-Con each, which isn't great if you're used to the Pro Controller, but it swings around about, so maybe they'll patch that in time. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm not like madly powering through it because I find it very frustrating because I'm not very good at the game. But in co-op mode, it's a blast, and it's very quick and very like kind of. It's not a million miles away to compare it to something like Hotline Miami, where the run is over so quickly that you just want another go and another go and another go, and it's not the same in terms of the style or. Because it's 2D but like a platformer rather than 2D top down, but I will say it has that kind of arcadey one more hit feel. So that is Overwhelm. Colin, how much is it in the UK store?
It's £7.99 in the UK, and it's $9.99 in the US.
So I think that's a good price. I would say it's for it's people who like to be challenged, and if you've got someone you can loyally play co-op with, local only, then that is going to be a real help to you. Because the game is tough as nails. It's really difficult.
It looks like a tough game. Like just watching the videos is making me sweat. When I was initially looking at the art style for this, I was a bit like, oh, it's that style again, the pixelated old retro style. But I mean, watching the video of it, I like how smoothly it runs, and it seems like it's quite intense, like fast-paced action, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, and what I will say is you can shoot and you can punch, but you have limited ammo.
Yeah,
and sometimes punching is easier because it pushes the enemies away. So it's really useful for bosses because you're not necessarily going to want to just stick in the corner and shoot things. It's actually sometimes, if you feel like you're being surrounded, it's more efficient to punch. So it's an interesting title. I'd recommend checking it out for sure.
I like the weather effects as well, like the red dots, like it's raining blood or something.
Yeah, and on the Switch subreddit, the creator said that I hadn't tested this, but he or she, I think it's a he, I think I read it as a bloke, put in modes where you can change the filters on the game as well. So if the red kind of hurts your eyes, then you can change it to look like a Game Boy and things like that.
Yeah, well, it looks cool. I mean,
worth checking out.
I do need to. I still. The last time I opened up my Switch was to download Tetris. You know that Tetris, whatever it's called, 3029 or whatever, and I still haven't played it. So it's been a long. I need to dust my Switch and actually have a look and actually start playing it again. I've just been really bad. I've been a really poor and disappointing Switch owner this week. Well, not this week, this month. It's not good.
Yeah, for ages.
I know it's not good, but let's talk about something completely different. The BAFTA Game Awards happened last week. It was last Thursday, actually. These took place the day after we recorded the episode. Typical. Everything seems to happen on a Thursday, and we record on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Really annoying. But it's obviously the BAFTA British Academy Game Awards.
Sorry, Colin. Can I just interrupt you very quickly?
Yes, do.
The developer of Overwhelm, Rory O'Sullivan, has tweeted that they are working on a patch for the Switch version, which will add Pro Controller support in co-op and changing some other little behind-the-scenes things as well. So the game is still being worked on, which is cool.
Marvelous, great to hear. So the BAFTA Game Awards happened last Thursday, one of the most prestigious award ceremonies in the gaming industry, and loads of different categories, loads of different winners. It's interesting, actually. Like the first thing to mention is that the two of the biggest names that didn't win any awards, Celeste and Red Dead Redemption 2, which is surprising. Red Dead Redemption 2 was nominated for 6 awards, didn't win any of them. The big winner was God of War for PS4, which is just winning awards left, right, and centre. You did play God of War, didn't you? I'm not imagining that. Yeah.
I finished
it. Was great. You thought it was good. You thought it was a good game.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. Good. So all of these votes, all these games are voted on by members of the British Academy, apart from one category, which is Mobile Game of the Year, which is decided by the public. So we've got the full list here. Obviously, the main one that we care about on this podcast is the Mobile Game of the Year. I'm just having a read through of the winners here. So let's quickly read through some of these. So best game obviously went to God of War. I said that won a lot of awards. That beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Celeste there as well. Best British game was Forza Horizon 4. Best evolving game is Fortnite. Continues to win awards. Best family game is Nintendo Labo, which is interesting that it won the award, but makes sense because it is obviously the whole point of it is to be family orientated, that you build stuff with your kids and you have fun together using the fishing rod and the sniper rifle. Well, there was a gun, wasn't there? Or am I imagining that? Or did someone was that like a meme?
Well, stay tuned because we're going to be talking more about Labo later on.
Oh, exciting. And we've also got Nintendo Labo also won Best Game Innovation as well, which isn't a surprise, really. Right. The best mobile game. Now, I feel bad that I wasn't aware. Actually, looking through the list of games here, I wasn't aware of any of these, but I've actually made it a mission that I'm going to play every single one. of these games because I need to widen my horizons with games and play some really good mobile games and just get away from the because I've still got that golfing game, Golf Battle on my phone where you have to like race to pot the ball or sink the ball with like other people online, which is just so fun. But best mobile game went to a game called Florence, which is a game I'm not familiar with, but I did some Googling, and it's actually a story-based game where it shows, apparently it's quite a bittersweet, sad, but happy story of, it shows a story of a character called Florence who meets her first love, and you go through like the relationship. It's an interesting idea. I'm looking at some images of it. It looks really, you just know it's not going to have a happy ending, let's be honest. It's probably going to be like one of those endings which is sad or happy, but I'm going to play that. It's a couple of quid on mobile, so I'm going to pick that up. But also nominated for best mobile game was Brawl Stars, Donut County, Auto's Odyssey, Reign's Game of Thrones, and The Room Old Sins. So they were also nominated. Have you played any of those games?
I've played Reigns, but not the Game of Thrones edition. I haven't actually. I've been bad on mobile, but it's just because Switch has been so good.
Yeah,
I will play Florence. I've heard really good things about Florence. I will play it.
I'm definitely keen on that. I was just looking through a few more of the lists here. So best performer was Jeremy Davis as the Stranger in God of War. Was the Stranger good in God of War?
Yes, he is sinister, but I don't want to give it away. But he's very good. I'm surprised. Is that best supporting?
No, best performer.
So that's interesting because it's not a mass, like it's a big role, but not compared to some of the other characters in that game. So, but fair on him, that's really good. It is a really strong performance.
I mean, looking at the nominations for that role, there's 4 other people from God of War. Yeah, Christopher Judge as Kratos, Daniel Biscutti as Freya, and Sonny Suljic as Atreus.
Have you seen the Jonah Hill film mid-90s that came out last week?
No.
But ages ago in America. The main boy, Sonny, is the main boy from God of War, is the star of that as well, and he's really good, really good in both.
There you go. And actually, there's 2 different mobile awards. There's best mobile award, which was nominated by the Academy, but also Mobile Game of the Year, which was the public vote. And the nominations for that was Brawl Stars, Clash Royale, Fortnite, Old School RuneScape, Pokemon Go, and Roblox. And the winner of that was Old School RuneScape. So that was publicly voted as a Game of the Year. I played about a minute of that, then deleted it straight away because I got bored. So there you go. I was never a fan of RuneScape back in the day. I was all into the Habbo Hotel hype. That was my jam back in the day.
Everyone don't talk about your Habbo Hotel addiction.
Yeah,
£10,000.
Jeez, well, a little bit under that, but yeah. Anyway, shame Pokemon Go didn't get the win there. So yeah, that was good. BAFTA awards, always good talking about those. Right, what you say you're going to talk to us about Labo and guns?
Not about guns. I don't know why you're talking about that. But Labo, we've known for a little while that Nintendo Labo are releasing a VR style folding cardboard headset. And what has now been announced is that as well as the VR kit launching on the 12th of April, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, Nintendo have announced they are releasing support in the VR kit for 2 games, Super Mario, well, a bunch of others, but mainly games that are already out, Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. So, excuse me, Super Mario Odyssey is going to feature some new levels set in a couple of the game's home worlds, which will be playable in VR in the Cap Kingdom, the Seaside Kingdom, and the Luncheon Kingdom. Seaside Kingdom is maybe my favorite one, so I'm quite buzzing for this. So this looks really good fun, and Mario at one point looks directly at the camera, which is a little bit weird, but it's kind of looks quite interesting. But then the big one, I think, is Breath of the Wild being playable in VR. So there's not too much. There's a trailer, but you can't really get a sense of how it works because obviously VR, you've got the camera on your head. It's kind of a fixed point. I don't know how they're going to get around motion sickness and stuff, but the updates come out on the 26th of April at the end of this month. And what is interesting about this is that as far as I can tell from the pictures, when you use the Nintendo Labo VR kit, you have to hold it up to your head. You can't take the Joy-Cons off because there isn't a strap attached to the Labo.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. It's going to hurt your hands after a while.
Yeah, I assume either. I mean, you know, this is kind of a joke thing, or not a joke, but like it's not designed to be played for much longer than a couple of hours or whatever, possibly. But well, not even a couple of hours because you're going to get sore hands. But I wonder whether they're going to release some sort of head strap or something so that the Switch does, because the Switch screen is quite heavy when it's just in cardboard. And if you're not holding the weight, you're going to need something quite sturdy to attach it to your head for all that time.
Yeah, definitely. There'll be probably third-party attachments that you can buy.
Yeah, for sure. But as I said, it's all well. The update will be free. The VR kit comes out on Friday of this week. And you can watch the trailer. We'll embed it on heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com so you can see it there. I mean, it does look interesting, but yeah, I feel like this is a good experiment from Nintendo, but I think if this isn't them. For me, for my money anyway, this isn't them getting into VR in the same way that, you know, Sony have or whatever. This is like them kind of testing the waters, giving people a little something, and also giving people a reason to buy Labo who are maybe not necessarily the Labo target market, because it's kind of quite children focused, and something like this is a little bit more going to appeal to people who have already played, finished Breath of the Wild, finished Super Mario Odyssey, who want something more of a challenge, maybe.
Yeah, I definitely see this as like, you know, it works both ways. As you say, it encourages people who don't have Labo to try it out because it's a different angle they're taking. But also then it's a very light way of Nintendo to see if it's something that people, you know, are interested in. VR for Nintendo games. See, I don't know whether this is something that Nintendo should look at long term, because a lot of their first party franchises, I don't know, are they really built for VR? Let's be honest here. Like Mario in the Mario world or games like that. I mean, obviously you got other VR experiences which can be horror related, or there's the Skyrim one where you're actually in an immersive world. But when you're like in a world with a little plumber and an angry turtle,
yeah, I think
not so immersive, maybe.
I feel like all the stuff I've really enjoyed in VR has been first person, and Nintendo don't do much first person stuff apart from Metroid Prime. Could be quite cool. F-Zero X could be quite cool if they shifted the camera.
Yeah.
So you know, there's room for maneuver.
Room for maneuver. Yeah, well, watch this space. When is their Labo VR coming out? You probably said that.
So Labo VR comes out at the end of this month. At the end of this week, 12th of April.
I'm going to put the explicit tag on this episode now.
Whoopsie. And the updates for Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild come out for free on 26th of April.
Amazing. So much to look forward to. I think that's it for this week. I think we've covered all bases. You know, quite a slow news week, but you know, as we're moving towards summer, I'm sure there'll be more game releases. And I'm going to try and play Florence this week because that looks really cool. Sort of thing I like. I like that game. Oh, also a few weeks ago, I've not heard much more on this since then, but the person who created her story, which I was well into, is working on a sequel.
Yeah, you tagged me in a thing, but I couldn't remember what her story was.
Oh, it's that game where it's like loads of video clips of this lady in a police interview, and you've got to try and piece together what she did and what the crime was. Where you only get clips, you have to search words, and if you find the correct words that relate to the clip, then it will load up. And you can view it.
Oh yes, I do remember you talking about that.
Such an interesting game, and that won like Game of the Year back a couple of years ago. They're working on a sequel, and there's going to be loads of different characters, and there's like a little brief clip of it. So very much involved in that. So it looks like more police interrogations, but more people are going to be involved in it, not just one person. It'll probably be their story or something.
Very good.
Like yeah, thank you. We're a week. There you go. Well, Chris, how can people get in contact with?
I was going to ask you. People can tweet us at Handheld Podcast. You can write to us, heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. There's also the website heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com, where you can click the links to the sources that we use in the show. You can listen to old episodes. You can find reviews and things like that over there. So heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com. And have a good week. Let us know what you're playing on the Switch. As ever, we love to know what you're up to. And Colin, you're going to be playing Florence. I don't know what I'm going to play this week, you know, but we should say there are rumors of a Nintendo Direct happening this week as well, because it's been a wee while since the last one. So maybe something will get announced there. I don't know. I don't have any inside information, obviously, but we will keep our fingers crossed. Colin, have a lovely week, my man, my dude.
You too, man.
My homeboy.
The big cheese. That's what I'm going to call you from now on, the big cheese. I'm sure that's in a term of endearment, but then I don't know. It depends what cheese it is. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Probably Stilton. Camembert.
Wensleydale. All the bits with fruit in that you get at Christmas time.
Oh, Wensleydale with apricots. Yes, please. Okay, bye.